What is up? We are live. Business is booming. What's going on, guys? Um, I'm just gonna hang out, let the chat kind of get kicking, see what we got going in here. This is kind of just like a open forum. Any questions? We got a little boomachino right here. A for fucking asshole. A for absolutely. I'm just kind of hanging out. I'm trying to do these like once a week, live Q&As, get on YouTube, see what's up. Let me know you guys can hear me if you are in here. Want to make sure this bad boy is working correct. I got the mic kicking. Um, I was just looking at the UFC schedule. There's some sick fights coming up. John Jones, March 4th versus Cyril Gane at heavyweight. That's going to be sick. I'm kind of curious how John Jones is going to look after so many years away now, right? It's been a couple years at least. I mean, he definitely did it right as far as building up his body to heavyweight, but he already had a pretty big frame. So I imagine he's going to do just fine. Honestly, in this fight, I just think his athletic ability, his wrestling and jujitsu mixed together is going to be the kryptonite for Cyril Gane. I mean, we saw in that fight with Francis Ngannou, like he out wrestled Cyril Gane with like a bad knee, right? He had like a torn ACL and he out wrestled him. So that was kind of a telltale sign for me. Like John Jones is probably a bad matchup for Cyril Gane. But we'll wait and see until a couple people get in here, get some questions, crack a lacking, and we'll talk some fights. We'll talk some life. We'll talk some whatever you want. You could ask me anything. I'm reading a new book. We could talk about that as well. Um, what else is coming up? Peter Yan Marab, that's March 11th. UFC 286. You got Edwards and Usman. I believe that one's in London, right? That's going to be pretty sick. Then you got Vera Sandhagen. Man, we got some crazy cards coming up in March. March is stacked so far looking at this. I would like to talk about a lot of these big fights and get into further detail, see what you guys are thinking. Let me see. Next card is a fight night, February 25th. That's not like a really big card. I believe that's at the Apex. Span versus Krylov. Let's see what else we got. Tatiana Suarez is coming back. That's big. She's been out for a while too. She's had some neck injuries and some knee stuff. I'm not sure about how long it's been, but Ode Osborne. Um, yeah, not the most stacked cards on these fight nights at the Apex, but then we get to UFC 285, the Jones Cyril Gane March 4th. That's when it kicks off hardcore. I mean, whatever you guys want to talk, any specific fights, I'm here. Today's an off day for me, so I try to kill the time. I figured do these on my off days. They change though, so it's not always going to be the same day. Um, I got to keep myself busy, or else I'll end up at the gym on a rest day, which is not the very counterproductive there. So I don't want to do that. Although, as I say that, I'm debating on if I want to do a light swim later just to kind of get the body moving, because swimming to me is like almost recovery in a sense, especially if I don't push myself and I just kind of like coast. But typically on an off day, you want to really get some good rest. I did some cryotherapy today, some local cryo. Shave my fucking bald ass head. But yeah, we're coming up April 29th. The business is booming again. But yeah, for this live, guys, it's just kind of Q&A, whatever you want to ask. Wait till some more people filter in here, maybe, and we'll get talking about some different fights. Start with Jones and Cyril Gahn. Kind of touched on it before, but then we got Marab, Peter Yan. Give me sick. That's March 11th. Back to back. I think T-Mobile back to back. I'm not sure. But if you got any questions, leave them in the comment section. We'll get to them. Boom, baby. What else? Leon Edwards, Usman, Gaethje, Fiziev. Damn. That's a good card too. I think that's in London. But yeah, anyways, until that, I'm reading David Goggins' book, Never Finished. I read the first one, Can't Hurt Me. It's kind of similar, but I think this is like a newer one that he's doing. But man, this guy's mindset is just unreal, different level. It's crazy to say that too, being a professional fighter and realizing that there's just levels to like somebody's mindset. This guy has just a very interesting, crazy way of looking at things and just kind of dealing with his own internal ego and the voices that, try to stop you from whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, trying to hold you back. He addresses it in a different kind of way than most people, and it's just interesting to see like how intense he is about it and how if you can do that you can really change your life. And these small decisions, these small voices that maybe tell you, hey, go this way, or hey, you don't need to do that, or oh, maybe do this. And you know we tend to listen to that, and it could hold us back big. Here we are. Now we got people flooding in. Do you have any advice for swooning girls in their early 20s? I'm 34, generally not attracted to women my age. All right, so you're looking for the young ones. I mean, I don't blame you. Um, I have no idea. I'm a married man, and those days are over for me. So I really don't know what to tell you. I mean, I guess get to the gym and start there. See what happens. But you staying young is probably the best move you can make. Staying healthy, staying young, staying fit. Can't go wrong with that shit. What's up, YouTuber? Appreciate it. Netherlands, shout out. What's going on? I was just talking about Jones and Gahn, right? That's coming up next, the next big fight. Jones been out for like 3 years. I mean, but his wrestling and his jujitsu is on another level, especially with what Ngannou did to Gahn. I just kind of feel like if John Jones fights a smart fight, he just can get a hold of him, get inside, take him down, utilize heavy ground and pound elbows. He's nasty with ground and pound, plus his jujitsu's on par. And then like his wrestling's way levels above Gahn. Why even mess around on the feet, for too long? Where Gahn's comfortable. Yes, sir. I'm training hard. I'm focused. I got plenty of time. I mean, I'm always in the gym, so I don't really like to overtrain and you know it's kind of a tricky thing. Like you got to know when to put your foot on the gas, when to take your foot off. When it comes to like an 8 to 10 week camp, I've been in the gym, sparring, doing everything for 6 months now since my last fight. So it's like trying to take the proper rest days that I need to recover, feel good. Uh, I'm not the youngest guy anymore, so I got to be smart about certain things. But I am trying to. I do train with a lot of young up and comers, which keeps me feeling that way, enthusiastic, energetic, and the mentality's great right now. So I'm looking forward to it. My back's against the wall, so I got nothing to do but leave it all out there on the table. So let's go. Boom. I like it. That front snappy. Yeah, I mean, I don't fault you for picking Gon. I just think John Jones is, the tricky thing is how long he's been out for. We don't know what John Jones we're gonna get, but it seems like he's done everything right. And then, not only that, but like I was saying before, just his wrestling and jujitsu, if he takes the fight there, I just can't see Gon withstanding that. But striking wise, you never know. We got a Boomachino. We got A for what? I don't know. A for Adam Francis. What the fuck is up, baby? Boom time. Yes. Gon seems pretty hard to hit, but Ty rocked him pretty good. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely hard to hit. He utilizes his kicks for range very well, but John Jones is long. You know what I mean? Like Tai Tuivasa is a shorter, smaller reach type of guy that throws big looping hooks that wants to get inside and he leaps forward and leaves himself very vulnerable. John Jones is not that guy. Very tactical, long ass legs. He can use kicks too at bay. And then he could decide when he wants to close distance, look for the clinch, look for elbows, look for takedowns, stuff like that. So I just think stylistically, Jones is a better, harder fight for Gon. But we got to see what John Jones we get. Also, we got Marab and Peter Yan. What do you guys think about that fight? That's a tough fight, but I just think that how resilient Marab is with his wrestling, he'll keep on shooting, keep on shooting. Even if he fails 5 times, he's going to shoot 6, 7, 8. And to deal with that is just such a nightmare, right? Like Jan got taken down by Aljo in that last fight, got controlled. Aljo's a phenomenal grappler, so that's different. But as far as wrestling and grinding and mixing up levels, like Marab's on a, very high level at that. And his cardio, his gas tank is like unmatched. So if he could smother Peter Yan and kind of avoid those big shots on the feet and really get in his face, I think he can do work. But Jan's definitely the more technical striker, so we'll see what happens there. But tough fight. Yeah, who's not rooting for Marab? Yeah, Aljo might move up. That's another fight, him versus Henry. You can never count Henry Cejudo out, but yeah, Aljo's a big bantamweight. He looks like he's got Volkanovski in his sights at featherweight, which I think is a great legacy move for him, and especially if the weight cut's getting terrible, he has that option, to move up to 45. And he doesn't, he has a good frame for 45. He's not the shortest, stocky, short reach guy. He's got reach. He's got a big, wide frame, and he's got good size. So that's another one. And then Leon Edwards Camaro. That first fight, the way Leon Edwards actually took him down and was out positioning him on the ground was big. The altitude played a big role in that fight. They were saying, and he still got it done late in the fifth, but that was a one-off shot that hard to hit those. It's likely that's not going to happen again. But I think the fact that we're not dealing with altitude, and I think Leon Edwards, we're in his backyard, it's definitely favors him. But Usman is a guy that, very smart fighter, knows how to slow the fight down, knows exactly what he's doing in there. So imagine Aljo beating Henry and Volk afterwards. He will become one of the greatest after being hit. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, man. The pound for pound list is very controversial, but he's up there. I think he's like 7. He beats Volkanovski, which is a fucking tough task, especially watching how he fought Makhachev. That would be that would honestly stamp his place in the pound for pound, because especially if you finished Volk. If you finish Volk, like you're number one. You know what I mean? You might have to fight Makhachev to find that out at this point, just based off of the win. But man, that's a big win right there. One of the biggest shocks in history, UFC, Nunez Pena, but I think Usman really is hungry to get the TKO round three. Yeah, I don't know. Is Pena, was that the biggest upset or biggest shock? I don't know. Definitely a big, definitely an upset. People were expecting Nunez to win, but Nunez came back and got her title back anyways, right? So kind of washed that out. Yeah, Cejudo's tough, man. I don't know what to think about that fight with Aljo. I mean, Cejudo's got a really interesting style with the Olympic level wrestling that he has. I think puts a little bit of uh, uh you know, a tougher challenge there for Aljo because Aljo isn't the most like aggressive, powerful striker, but he's a smart striker. He uses his legs really well and he knows how to keep you at a certain reach. He knows how to avoid big strikes. And I really am interested to see how the wrestling exchanges would turn out in that fight. That'd be cool. I don't know, man. Chandler and Connor, that's a crazy fight because Chandler has become like a pure entertainer, right? So here's my thoughts. If Chandler approaches this fight as I'm an entertainer, I put on big exciting fights, I just go out there reckless, then I could see Connor landing that left hand and beating Chandler early on in the fight by hurting him and finishing up, following up with the finish. If Chandler fights Connor with technicality, mixes up his level changes, makes Connor work with the grappling, then I could see Chandler winning the fight. Because he's a way better wrestler. He's more athletic. He's probably stronger. It's just Connor has that piston left hand, and if he backs Chandler up and makes Chandler just swing, he's gonna make a miss and pay. So hopefully Chandler's smart, but we don't know if he's coming in just to put on a show. Seems like that's what he's doing, right? But who knows? Who do you guys got in the Sandhagen Cheeto fight? That's like I feel like Cheeto's on fire right now. I feel like his mindset is like unbreakable. He has so much momentum going behind him. He somehow pulls it out of his back pocket in the fifth round after losing, three or four of the first bunch of rounds. But I just feel that Sandhagen's style is probably going to be the toughest that Cheeto's faced so far out of all those wins. He's a long guy that moves really well, and he's good at mixing everything. He's good on the ground. He's good at movement, defending takedowns, whatnot. This is an interesting fight, man. I can't really tell where that fight's gonna go. I would say primarily takes place on the feet. I would say Sandhagen has the volume edge, and then I would say Vera has the one shot finishing ability edge and killer instinct edge. That's gonna be crazy. Um, yeah, Sandhagen's fight IQ is high, and if he could start fast on Cheeto, maybe he can never, get himself on his front foot. That would be smart. That's what I'm saying. It's hard to pick against Vera right now, honestly, just with all the momentum he has going on. What else? What else we got? Any other questions? Any questions about my fight, training, life, whatever you want? Let's go, baby. Vera has the same kind of style as Jan, both very good, not the fastest starters, really strong the longer the fight lasts. Yeah, that's kind of true. They both have good shells. Jan keeps his hand up, keeps that shell like here the whole fight. I feel like Vera's starting to get like a really good shell. I feel like one of Vera's biggest um tools is that he sees everything, right? And I've been explaining this to other fighters in my gym is what's very important about defense is not necessarily making everything miss or even blocking everything. Of course, those help, but seeing everything is one of the biggest uh factors as far as being able to counter somebody, being able to time somebody's shots. Vera's been fighting very high shell lately, like this. He's looking, he's seeing everything, right? Stuff is hitting his forearms. He's blocking like this. He's blocking like this. He's shelling up. He's making you hit his arms essentially with a lot of shots, his hands. Sometimes you connect, but he sees everything that's coming, right? And he's downloading, it seems like, which is why I think he's catching guys later on in the end rounds, is that he's seeing the way you're throwing things, why you're throwing things, what you're throwing, and then he's just waiting for that one big shot. And not just one, but he's waiting to time maybe you coming in. He's seeing a head movement that you're doing. He's seeing how you react after you throw a shot or a combination. That's high fight IQ too, right there. Yeah, you know what, man? I'm kind of upset that that O'Malley fight kind of passed by. I really would have needed a bunch of wins strung together. If I would have beat Ricky Simone or Cody Stamen, I think I would have put myself in a better place. So it's unfortunate, where he is right now. There's like not a chance that they would ever make that fight unless I win 3 fights in a row and maybe he loses a couple and kind of gets set back and then we kind of meet in that area. But I thought it would have been fun. Yeah, Gillespie's a fucking monster. I don't know what's going on with him. He's been out for a while. Does anybody know anything on Gillespie? Like, is he taking a break? Is he injured? I don't know what's up. I don't know if he's just waiting for the right fight, but he is one of those guys that I could see as champion. Man, I always said I would have loved to see him fight Khabib just because the wrestling tenacity. But then again, now maybe him versus Makachev. That'd be pretty cool to see because I'll tell you what, Gillespie is a competitor. He's a very high level wrestler and he'll shoot nonstop the whole fight, make you defend, scramble, smother you, everything. So that would be cool. Yeah, Ricky Simone's really good. I don't know who he's fighting Song Yudong. That's another banger fight. That's crazy. I think Song Yudong's a little faster, a little more explosive maybe, but I think Ricky Simone has more tools to beat him. I think with his mixing up strikes to takedowns, riding him on the cage, wrist riding, ground and pound stuff like that. I give him the edge. Submissions, so if he fights his fight, I think Simone will beat Song Yadong. But if it stays standing, I could see Song Yadong landing the heavier shots. That's another good fight. Jeez, we got crazy fucking fights on the horizon, huh? Um, but yeah, I watched a Jim Miller. I'm like fucking Ariel with the pencil and shit, except mine's like pencil on steroids. You see this thing? I got the fucking fatty baby. Chip. I watched Jim Miller's interview before his fight with Alex Hernandez, and I just love watching him talk. Like, just such a high IQ, so much experience, legend of the game. And he said something that I actually wrote down because I thought, it was simple, but it was just like two things that I can control are effort and attitude. And he said, those are what that's what I'm gonna do. And when you think about it, it's like the fight game just gets in your head. It's so fucking intense. You're in the locker room, the nerves, the angst, all those thoughts that run through your head. And it's just like if you could just simplify it to like have a good attitude and give my best effort. That's the two. important things that I can do, nothing else fucking matters. I just thought that was good. I wrote it down and I'm gonna go into my fight with that because there's been fights where I feel as if, you know, the mind games got to me a little bit and I wasn't at my full potential in there and it kind of shows. And I think that, you know, it's pretty much my biggest regret going back looking at it like that. So if you can make sure that you give your best, you won't have regrets no matter what happens. I could say that for the Cody Stamen fight. I had a great fight, tough competitor, one of the best. I thought I fought amazing in that fight for myself, just for my potential and how I feel, how good I am. And that fight, I displayed that. I lost a decision, yeah, but I really left it all out there, and that's all you could ask. The Boomachito, baby, right here. It's getting down to the nitty gritty. See that? I'm still trying to figure out what to name my podcast, so I don't know. Maybe I could let you guys give me a name. I was thinking Boomachino was one of them because I always have it. I always got the Boomachino, baby. Jack Sleeps Mayweather. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Aspinall Miocic. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. We got about 4 minutes. Um, Let me know what you guys think. I don't know why I said let me know what you guys think. I got a phone call. I got distracted. Boomcast. There we go. That's a good one. What else we got? I was thinking business is booming, but that's kind of a catchphrase rather than a podcast name. Um, yeah, so I gotta have a big year. Honestly, my last two are very disappointing for me. I think this is a great matchup for me. Journey Newson, tough guy. I have a lot more experience over him, though. I think that's a big factor for me. And I think I don't train with a lot of UFC guys, but I train with a lot of young guys that are trying to aspire to be where I'm at, and I think that's great. These guys are fucking savages at Long Island MMA. And I think, being around them on the come up is big for me because I'm a veteran of the game. And I think it keeps me feeling young, fresh, excited. And I'm excited for this fight. I typically don't like too long of a camp, but I think it's good for me right now, just to get everything squared away. Any changes I want to make, make them now. And, get that mindset straightened in, which it is right now. And man, if I go in there confident, focused, and I leave it all on the table, I think this is a great fight for me. And then we go from there. I don't like to look ahead of any fights, but I always have a little bit of a plan because this is entertainment as well, more so now than ever. So, I was thinking go after that young Rojas kid. He's got a lot of hype behind him right now. It seems like they want to feed him some of the veteran guys. So fuck him, right? Fuck him. No, that power slap shit rubs me the wrong way. I'll be honest. I'm not really a fan. I just no fucking defense. Just leave your head out there to get bashed. Granted, yeah, fighting's dangerous, but at least we have the ability to negate things, defend things, move out of the way. Like, is this, I don't know, just vicious. Yeah, that's another thing. I put two good wins, three good wins. I'm right back there in the top 15. My age is definitely not. the best for this division, but how I feel great. You know, like I don't feel my age. Um, I feel like I have a lot left still to give. I feel like I've been very fortunate in my career with injuries. I've also been very smart with how I train and everything. Of course, I train really hard, but I train smart. So, longevity is important in this career, and I plan on going until I can't. So, just got to keep things moving smart. I could see Blockowitz moving up to heavyweight. How do you see his chances? He's a big guy. I could see him moving up and doing well because he packs a lot of power. Guy's got crazy hard shins. He's not the fastest light heavyweight, so I could see maybe where that could help him because then he could have a little bit of a speed advantage. Maybe I could see him doing well. He's a big, tall, big frame. No, I'm a UFC veteran. I would love to stay in the UFC. I've been in the UFC for 5 years. I would love to keep on going and be like a Jim Miller, a Nate Diaz, like, you know, a guy that sticks around, can keep doing, put on great fights. And, I just feel like my dream is always the UFC. We'll see what happens. If the PFL, I don't even think the PFL has a bantamweight division. If they did for that $1 million tournament, that's a whole nother ballpark, for money. That's different, but I don't even think they have bantamweights right now. Nicest UFC fighter I've ever met. Marab's pretty fucking nice. Real nice guy. Humble, really cool guy. But stranger UFC fighter, like just randomly meet someone at the fight. I don't know. It's hard to pick one. Everybody's pretty nice, to be honest. Most fighters are pretty friendly, humble. But all right, guys, I'm gonna head out, do a little half hourage. Appreciate you tuning in, the questions, everything. We'll see you next time. Boom, baby.